We'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis and quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser. Bitcoin was sent by God to un-F our money and stop wars. Preach. We'll also be discussing Analyst sees the Bitcoin rally to a new all-time high around the halving, which is only 4 days away, family. 420, let's go. Says Bitcoin is mirroring a pre-ETF movement. We'll also be discussing analytics firm Glassnode. Says Bitcoin Euphoria phase is still young. I'll be explaining why. We'll also be discussing breaking news. Germany's largest federal bank to offer crypto custody services. I'll be breaking down this latest report, as well as big news coming out of Hong Kong. They officially approved their first Bitcoin and Ether ETFs. I'll be breaking down the latest here, as well as Bitcoin can skyrocket to 650 million. My apologies, 650,000 this cycle top, according to on-chain analyst Willy Woo. I'll be breaking down his latest prediction. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. Now, welcome crypto fam. What it do? We early today. That's right, 12 p.m. this week, Monday through Thursday, just FYI. We had big shows over the weekend that did very well. Let me know if you guys tuned into the pod. Very bullish predictions, of course. Satoshi Nakamoto, welcome. Good to see the founder of Bitcoin here. Where you been, Satoshi? Welcome Jennifer, welcome K-Jam, welcome Dankness. Shout out to all the mods. Greatly appreciate you guys. How you doing? What's poppin'? Another beautiful week. Bitcoin's in the green. We're trading at roughly 64, 65,000 range right now. We did tap like 62 off of the, I guess that was the reaction of the market from the war with all the shenanigans going on in the chaos, but nonetheless we bounced back, and some of you guys didn't think 60,000 would hold. Thus far we held up, so we'll see. We do have a halving in 4 to 5 days. Will it be on 420? What are your thoughts, fam? Let me know. Shout out Bill Hokey Wolf in the house, looking for some good news. Will you come to the right place? We keeping it 100. Okay, good. Let's get it. Shout out James Harris. Good to see you as well. Shout out Knox Bill. I see a lot of familiar faces in here. Hoddle Michael, Michigan in the building. This is a live and interactive show, so please do let me know where you're tuned in from. Always appreciated. Shout out OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg. Let's go.
Pump it up. Pump it up.
Pump the likes to pump the stream and retweet. If you guys have an X account, I do post every day when I go live. I make a tweet and you can retweet it. I guess we don't even call it tweet nowadays, but post and repost, whatever. But anyways, Marcus, welcome. Good to see you guys. What's poppin'? Where do you think Bitcoin is likely to take us this week? Are we going to recapture the 70,000 range? Let me know what your thoughts are. Good to see y'all in the building. Tony Zubiria, what it do? JV Eastern Oregon pumping it up. Shout out to Eastern Oregon in the building. Mark says, hey JV and fam. Hey Mark. Fairground, hey JV, watching from Cornwall, England. Shout out to the UK. How's the weather out there, family? Let me know. Exciting times, a lot going on in the market. Big ETF news out of Hong Kong. They did get the approval. It is official. They're already advertising the ETF on billboards over in Hong Kong. When pump? Right now. Illumina, welcome. Rob, also tuned in from the UK. Good to see you guys. Shout out to the European fam. Good JV watching the, what is that? The E-Da, the best show from YouTube. Word up. Appreciate it, Barry BTC. Pullbacks are good. Building up for a sweet launch. You already know. It was a pretty modest pullback, by the way. It wasn't nothing serious. What did we pull back? 7-8%? That's not a sunny but cold in Scotland, JV. Thanks for letting me know, Mark. Is that where you're originally from? Good day, JV and team. Remember, Monday starts the weekend. Does it? Starts the weekend? I never thought of it that way. Philippines tuning in. Shout out to the Philippines. We got Unholy Amen. We got George Lorenzo. Welcome. Fairground, what it do? Everyone just joining us. Pump the likes, pump the stream.
Pump it up. Look, pump it up if your game went long.
Welcome, y'all. Let's go.
A dip hit, you just stayed like King Kong. More than 5 shots in your stack, then get it on.
When you work from home, every day is the weekend. This is a good point. Now, I do work from home, so every day is kind of the same in a sense. minus the school thing with the little one. Barak Monfils Evangelista, welcome to the stream, family. Good to see you. How you been? How was your weekend? Let me know. And does anyone live in reside in Hong Kong? I'm curious. Let me know. Where's the Asian market at? We've had pumpage since getting the announcement, and actually they're like 12 hours ahead of us or so. So we actually started pumping a while ago. We recaptured 66, I know, last night. Beautiful day in Northwest PA. Shout out PA. I take it that's Pennsylvania, right? Bill Hokie says, good stuff. Welcome everyone just joining us. Pump the likes, pump the stream. Yes, definitely a crazy weekend with all the chaos of the world. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys can't escape it either on your timelines. Cheers from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Shout out Brazil. Satoshi, you're living in Brazil. Now, is Satoshi Brazilian is the question. It's a good question, right? So, anyways, fam, if you're new to the channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every day, just like this. Also, pump the likes. It helps pump the stream, helping out tremendously with the algo. It's always greatly appreciated, fam. Today is pod episode number 1610. I'm your host, JV. It's April 15th, 2024, roughly 4 to 5 days away from Bitcoin halving 2024. So you already know. Big news today as well. The ETFs have officially been approved out of Hong Kong. The first spot Ethereum ETF in history, as well as Bitcoin ETF. And it's a different type of, which we'll be breaking down later here in the show. So stick around. But let's kick it off with our market watch as we do every day. Everything back in the green. Hallelujah. We got Bitcoin trading above 65,100 at the time of the live stream. We got Ether trading just under 3,200, and virtually everything currently pumping. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the market cap is climbing back. We're at 2.35 trillion with almost 118 billion in volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance a solid 54%, with the Ether dominance at 16.1%. How high do you think the Bitcoin Dom will climb for this cycle? Let me know. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, we got Core, AIOZ, Pendle, and Ondu. Now, which alts in particular are you guys most bullish on for this bull run? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective on the daily, you can see the bulk of the entire market crushing it right now in the green, only a few in the red. And zooming out on the monthly, bloodshed. And I think this is a given, considering alts have been running crazily over the past 6 months. So this is a humbling, in my opinion, as Bitcoin dominance continues to gain momentum. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 74 in greed. Yesterday, 72. Last week, 76 in extreme greed. And last month, an 81 in extreme greed. We keep an eye on this because the higher this goes, the more likely of a correction. And checking out the Bitcoin halving countdown. Halving date, time is scheduled to be April 20th. How lit will that be? On 420, family, block 840,000. As soon as that happens, it's official. So it may happen literally this stack and Saturday, which would be on 420. If it happens on the 19th, then it'll be on Friday. But either way, the halving is here. Are you guys pretty excited about that? Let me know. We're currently on block 839,361. So as soon as this hits 840,000, which means we're only 600 or so blocks away, that's when the halving officially occurs. And currently the market cap for Bitcoin specifically is sitting at 1.27 trillion. And you can currently trade $1 for 1,546 Satoshis. Just note, this number is likely to shrink smaller and smaller. You're not going to be able to get 1,500 Satoshis for $1 post-halving. You know what I mean? Especially when we start ripping once again with our next leg up. So take advantage of it. Eventually, you'll only be able to get maybe 100 Satoshis for $1. And if not this cycle, then by next cycle. But you already know it's a coming. So stack sats accordingly. Now, welcome everyone just joining the stream. Welcome to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. That is right. ETFs have officially been approved out of Hong Kong. This is a pretty big deal. Hopefully it pumps the markets. We'll see how today plays. 70% or above dominance. Love it, Jennifer. I'd love to see that personally. Fetch, Ondo, and Tron, says Lumina. Thanks for sharing. Mostly Bitcoin, Ondu Bitcoin of BlackRock, Fetch, AI, Tron for China, and USDT usage. Thanks for sharing. Very excited, says Fairgrounds. Greetings from South Carolina. Shout out South Carolina from Pam Powers. I think Jennifer is also in South Carolina there. Pump for the halving. That's what's up. Shout out to the Kitty Crusher. You got to have a stream from Friday night, JB. Let's watch the halving come in. Well, we got to do something special. We got to watch the halving come in. I think you make a good point. So we may have to do that. Regardless, I want to capture the halving on stream. That'd be pretty lit. A halving party, right? If it's not during the regular hours. We don't know yet because it's all dependent upon the block. Hi from Thailand. Shout out Jerry Reynolds. Shout out Thailand. Smash the like legends. Let's go Fairground. Good stuff. Illumina says, I was looking at SUI. Is Hong Kong a big market? There's big money there. It's basically right on the outskirts of mainland China. But the question is, can mainland China funds actually invest into the Hong Kong ETF? What would be the loophole if they can't? Will it be feasible, right, and viable for investors? Because China's massive. Hong Kong is just this tiny little, city. But it's a beautiful city, and it's also has a lot of money. It reminds me of New York on steroids when I visited Hong Kong back in, I think it was late 2010, early 2011. So it's been a long time since I've been there, but definitely a great place to visit. And I know they have a lot of money in Asia, clearly. There's a lot of wealthy Asian countries that are very small, just like Hong Kong. There's Malaysia, Singapore, etc. So I want to know. We're going to dive into that later. So stick around. 620 million. Yeah, my apologies. I don't know. I got millions on my mind, clearly. Knoxville is going to be a good run. Amen to that one. Barry says the combined three make BlackRock look little. There you go. Just been watching how long that latest blocks are being mined, flying through them. It is. I think it's going faster than anticipated, Paul. Good point. When does it start trading is another great question we'll be discussing according to the top ETF analyst, Eric Balchunas. He has some tweets on that I'll cover here shortly on when he believes they'll start trading. Boom week from the UK. Let's go boom week. Shout out Zach Hudson. You know what I mean? Bitcoin crazy, rich Asians. Plenty of rich Asians for sure. Kitty Crusher. How many Asians here that are rich? Don't be shy. Let me know. Nipsey's a rich Asian, even though he was born here in Puerto Rico. He identifies as a rich Asian, if you know what I mean.
People on my back to get a song. Bears broke, have a talk, we smoked them like a bomb. Oh yeah, we.
Anyways, fam, without further ado, let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis, aka Astrology for Men. Check out some of the charts and what's popping right now in the market. Here you're looking at the 1 hour chart. Bitcoin circles 65.5 at the April 15th Wall Street Open as traders lick their wounds, just like Nipsey, after the weekend Bitcoin price washout. That's right. TradingView tracked the comparatively calm start to the US TradeFi trading week. The lack of volatility contrasted firmly with scenes from the weekend in which Bitcoin dropped to near 61,000. This came in the form of a knee-jerk reaction to geopolitical instability in the Middle East, with Bitcoin avoiding some of the deeper losses that the alts experienced. Now, traders turn to what many saw as a difficult period to navigate in the short term. Bitcoin's block subsidy halving was just days away. That's right. Hopefully on 420 on Saturday. And an event that traditionally brings unsettled traditional conditions or trading conditions into its own right. Quoting analyst Material Indicators, Keith Allen from Material Indicators. With the halving coming up in less than a week, I won't be surprised to see a pump to the halving followed by a dump after the halving to shake out weak hands before the next leg up. Also says, of course, escalating geopolitical tensions might alter the trajectory. So certainly tuned into that. Now, Allen also highlighted changing exchange order book liquidity conditions, suggesting overheated resistance or overhead resistance above 70,000 would remain in place until the bulls could lure the bids closer to the current spot price. And data from CoinGlass showed Bitcoin eating into the bid liquidity at and below 66,000 at this time, quoting SKU Analytics. Lots of systemic retests this morning. Important day, I think, for the crypto market to establish the next phase for direction. He also highlighted the need to preserve exponential moving averages on both the 4-hour and daily time frames. Bitcoin's RSI further needed to return above the central 50 level, as he points out. Now, we're also going to dive deep into Hong Kong, but this is big news as they approved both spot Bitcoin Ether and Bitcoin ETFs. So this is another major catalyst, which could be pumping the markets right now. And I'm going to dive deeper into that later. But according to Dan Crypto Trades, here's what he recently tweeted. Today's Bitcoin sent out by GBTC comes out to be 1.6 thousand Bitcoin, which is 105 million worth. Friday's ETF net flows came in at negative 55 million. IBIT has 111.1 million, still leading the rest by a big margin. And GBTC saw an outflow of 166 million and now has 319,000 of 625,000 Bitcoin left. So from here on out, I'll start reporting the ETF flows only as the Bitcoin sent from Grayscale has not had as much importance as previously and can be a bit random. ETF flows remain important, and I'll report on those as long as they are as high and impactful as they are now. So there you have it. Now, someone shared, this is Rifle Reviews. He put, no currency or hard asset can ever fix a problem of war. War has been a constant since the beginning, and war will never stop until the end of this age. The cure for the hearts and souls of the world is the one and only Savior, Lord Jesus Christ, none other. Max Kaiser retweeted and wrote, false. Bitcoin was sent by God to un-F our money and stop wars. And some would say Bitcoin is God hacking humanity. Let me know your thoughts on that. Now, I'm going to check some of the comments, family. Welcome everyone just joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream. We greatly appreciate it. Winston Kim says, let's go 65 G's, baby. Send it.
60 G's, baby!
Hong Kong is more than just a city. It's like a little country unto itself. No, that is true. That is true. Definitely true. It is a country. More like, I guess I would call it, is it a territory? Kind of like Puerto Rico is not in the mainland of the United States, but a lot of things are similar in the U.S. as, you know what I mean, here in Puerto Rico, but it's a territory. I mean, it's controlled ultimately by the United States. I would assume Hong Kong is similar in the sense it's ultimately controlled. I don't know if the British still control it or it has some control from China, but one of the main differences I remember is they speak a different language. So it's not like mainland China. They speak Cantonese, which was the traditional language of China. And then eventually one of the emperors made everyone in mainland China speak Mandarin. So everyone in the mainland speaks Mandarin. So, yeah, I mean, different in that sense and different financial regulations and stuff like that. So who knows? But anyways, enlighten me if anyone has any insights on that. Let's freaking go. Grayscale needs to stop messing with the market. Amen to that. Bitcoin is like a, what is that? A boeta? What is a boeta? Boeta? Preach. Work, crack down on my phones so I can't listen as often. Damn it. They should be giving you a raise for tuned into the show. Just saying, it's educating you. 600 G's is the new 60 G's, baby. There you go. Smash that like button. Orange panty night, anybody?
It's red panty night when you're starting to find me, yeah? Back at home with your wife.
Yeah, I mean, it's a celebration.
It's a celebration.
When you buy those biddies, just saying. So yeah, welcome Creeper. Good to see you. It's a special administrative region. The British lost Hong Kong back in 97. Oh, interesting to note. So who's the main owner of Hong Kong? If it's not the British no more. I'm curious. Fed up with the GS. What's the GS stand for again? I don't even remember. GS. I got to remember. I don't know. But yeah, Bitcoin is ending neo-feudalism. There you go, Ryder Well. Sup, Squirrel Bait? Good to see you as well, family. What it do? Welcome to the stream.
Heard Kramer report that. He said, we bought more bags. Till we got a sword back.
Oh, Greg says China. Not surprised on that one, but yeah. China owns it once again. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Don't get in trouble, fam. I've had to fire my employees for using their cell at work or accessing certain websites from their work computer. Oh, Grayscale. GS. Got it. Thank you, Paul. ETFs took time if we go to a couple of months back. Yeah, it only took them 3 months. BlackRock now has over 270,000 biddies. That's mind-boggling. I just broke a half a Bitcoin. Congratulations. Cheers to that. Blueprint. We only have to give back the new territories, but we have back the island too because we are too nice, says AI Apocalypse. Where are you from there, fam? Let me know.
Can't short your dork, we can't afford that. Wait for the pump to come, we
You should have bought that. Crypto to zero. They really thought that. Good morning, Juan Espino. What it do? Welcome to the stream. Why are Grayscale people selling it, not the company? Why would anyone be selling? Well, number one, it's an ETF. It's not self-custodied. And number two, Grayscale has the largest fee by far, 1.5%. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the annual fee to manage your fund through the ETF. That adds up. When comparatively speaking, other ETFs are offering, some of them, I don't know if they're still obviously, but they had zero fees for so many billions entering into their ETF, and then it would eventually go to like 0.2%. I think one we saw 0.15%. So that may be the best deal. So would you rather pay 1.5%? I think that's 10 times more than 0.15%. Then it's Grayscale. And I think that's why people are massively dumping, in my opinion. Let me know if that makes any sense. The Brits had a 99-year lease on Hong Kong. China didn't renew the lease. Good to know, Jennifer. Thank you. A new day, a new Bitcoin. Blueprint, well done. Don't play hardball with your employer. I hated writing up my friends, but I had to, or else I would get written up myself. It's kind of like being a hall monitor. I mean, buy Bitcoin or not to buy it. I think it's a great time to buy personally if you're in it for the long haul. You're going to be hodling for a couple of cycles. Let's get it. Zhengzhou is the mainland, also speaks Cantonese. I didn't know that. Good to note. When I visited China, it was always Mandarin everywhere until I visited Hong Kong. I mean, Bitcoin is like Buddha. Oh, yes, Bitcoin is Buddha. Same thing. Preach and be good to other people. That's right. Fear of war is why the ETFers are limited to a market hours. There you go, Gerald. It's called the one country, two systems until 2047. Oh, interesting. Be your own boss. Don't work for the man. Sage advice, K-Jam. Sage advice. And get paid in biddies if you have the opportunity to do so. Why wouldn't Grayscale lower the fees? They said eventually they will, but they have no plan on doing that here soon. Before the mass, so they must have some weird strategy. Maybe they know a certain portion of people will just pay the fee and they're killing it with the fees. I honestly don't know. We'd have to ask Michael Sonnenschein, their CEO. Also, interestingly, Barry Silbert, one of their founders, had to step down more recently. So it's interesting. We don't know what's really going on under the hood there. Mr. Husky is giving my lick signal. Oh, snap. That's about 35 licks. That means 35 smash buys. Automan is going to the gym to pump it up while JB keeps it pumped. Shout out to Automan and everyone putting it in and pumping it up. Investors don't see the fees, but the fees adjust the net asset value. The 1.5% means you lose value over time versus holding the Bitcoin directly. Thank you, Illumina. Appreciate the insights. But anyways, fam, next story of the day. Let's discuss this halving rally around the corner here. Closely follow crypto strategist thinks the Bitcoin is positioned to surge to a new all-time high following last week's drop to around 60,000. I think it was like 61 and some change. Calio shared on X. The Bitcoin appears to be mirroring its December 2023 to January 2024 price action when the market anticipated the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs. According to the trader, he sees Bitcoin rallying to a new record high around the halving when the Bitcoin miner rewards are slashed in half. However, he predicts that Bitcoin will see a deep correction after the rally before igniting a steep upside move. Quoting the analyst here, my favorite price structure comparison I'm paying attention to right now heading into the halving is the December pre-ETF time frame. Could easily see us running the highs again from here leading into the halving later this week, followed by a sell-off and then a grind back to new highs. The analyst shares an hourly chart, which you can see here, of Bitcoin before the ETFs were approved. Now he subsequently shares another chart, which you can see, that suggests Bitcoin may be following the same pattern. The trader is also keeping a close watch on BNB, the utility token of the BNB chain ecosystem, which is the native token of Binance. According to Calio, BNB looks poised to take out its diagonal resistance and rally to a new all-time high near the 1,000 mark. As he shares here, BNB still looks primed to break out of this range. So there you have it, family. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that sentiment, that we can have a pre-halving pump, then a dump, and then basically go parabolic holla. Leaving PR now. Had a blast, kid. You're leaving Puerto Rico. What were you doing out here? What city did you visit? And glad to hear you had a good time. Starting a business is a lot of work. I have a small soap business. Well, it can be a lot of work to run a successful business, but starting a business, I don't know if it's that much work. I guess it depends upon the business. But creating the entity is simple. You could create an LLC online, probably for a couple of $100s. I mean, like that, and be in business. Good time to stack, says Paul Williams. Everyone to the live stream, the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Thank you, KJam. Smash the likes. We appreciate that. Plug into the Discord as well. We do have a Discord. We encourage you to join. The link is here in the chat. Yeah, and welcome everyone just joining us. What it do? You forgot to take JV out to lunch. I know, I'm disappointed. I was looking forward to a free lunch. You know what I mean? Anyways, yeah. Bitcoin going down right now, interestingly, 64.2. JV, do you have a shop, JV, to buy some things? I do. I have a online merch store for Bitcoin specific merch at merch.cryptonewsalerts.net. The link is always in the description as well. It's one of the ways you can help support the channel. Cop some merch. Always appreciated. Regards from, where's that? North Macedonia? Macedonia. Right on. JV picks the lunch location, though. Exactly. High-end lunches only. $10,000 per seat. Just saying. When Bitcoin flip gold, as far as the market cap, I think next cycle. What do you guys think? I think Bitcoin hits 1 million next cycle, meaning between 2028 and 2030. And I think we can flip gold and have, what is gold right now? 14 trillion. Can someone look that up? Type in gold market cap, see where we're at. I would imagine it's probably in the 14 trillion range by now. Went last night to Marriott Casino and smashed them. Nice. Glad to hear you smashed them. Last time I went there, my whole family smashed them. My mom visited, and everyone I was with, we smashed them together. My mom was on the slot machines. Actually, there's nothing to pull nowadays. It's just all digital. But she did well, and I did well at blackjack, my bad. And my friend did good at blackjack as well. We crushed it. Marriott's pretty dope. Good place. JV is a picky-ass eater. Exactly. Sushi only family. Salam, fam. Trump for the king, says Mohammed. King... What is that? Inshallah. Oh, word. Trump for king. Interesting. My transportation and logistics business was hard to run. Not hard to start, but had to run. Hard to run. You need to have a lot of discipline to run your own business. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think most people aren't cut out for it because we have a employee mentality if you've been an employee most of your life. And working for yourself, some of the drawdowns, which are also some of the advantages. There's pros and cons. It'd be a drawdown to some if you're not self-motivated, right? Self-disciplined to get the ish done. Maybe some people need someone to tell them what to do, right? However, it's a beautiful thing because you get to design your lifestyle around the business. So to me, it's priceless. You know what I mean? Especially if you want that level of freedom or sovereignty in your life. Gold, wow, is it that high? It's climbing, yo. Almost 16 trillion. Word. 15.849 trillion, says Greg. Thank you. JV, my boy. Max bet only, fam. Right? Max bet only. Black jock. Huh? There was a whole war about not having a king. There you go. Jersey Jedi. Employee equals slave. That's the unfortunate truth. However, let's keep it real. Some entrepreneurs are slaves to their business. So anyone can be a slave. I guess it's a perspective as well. Beckett just subscribed. Thanks for the sub. Bitcoin cycles. You don't know a thing. Bitcoin cycles. There you go. Thank you. I was watching the shop. Thank you. Thank you, Barry. Listen to this track if you want to start a business. Chris Record Entrepreneurs Choices with Billie Jean is marketing. Shout out Billie Jean and Chris Record. Let's go. Yeah. I want to start a pizza business so people can pay in Bitcoin. The only thing is that the honest truth is less than 1% of the population are Bitcoiners. So your pizza business, I mean, there may be a handful of Bitcoiners that are like, woohoo. But I don't think that's necessarily equal to a successful business there. But that's a cool idea. However, once the masses gets orange pilled. I mean, obviously, that's a great way to promote the business. Barry, BTC, how many people live in Puerto Rico? Can someone Google it? I'm just going to guess like 6 to 7 million. Totally random guess. I have no clue. But I know overall the population is small. So can someone Google it? Let me know. See if I'm in the ballpark. Boss, I am a slave. Yeah, well, that as well, because even bosses have bosses. But what if you're the boss of all bosses, right? Like in The Godfather. Interesting, right? Thanks, Daynata, Barry, BTC, cheers. Hey, JV, it's becoming harder to add, what is that, Bitcoin? What do you mean harder to add it? Harder to buy it? Maybe a pizza shop in El Salvador? Well, that's a different story. In El Salvador, all businesses must accept Bitcoin as a form of payment because it's a legal tender. So yeah, definitely more adoption there, clearly. Wow, only 3.2 million Puerto Rico. Whoa. That's not many people, yo. 3.2 million. And it feels like when you're on the road, they're all on the road in traffic. You can see all 3.2 million of them. I went panning for gold this weekend in the foothills on northern Cali. I wish I was panning for Bitcoin instead. Did you find any gold? Do you think we might see a hard fork attempt anytime in the near future? Yes. I think there will always be fraudsters trying to hard fork the network to try to get as many people with them as possible. However, I don't think they'll be successful, just like the previous hard forks that come before us. I have my Bitcoin in Fidelity. Is that a good idea? Self-custody is always better, but you may be in a situation where you invested your 401k and you don't have the option to self-custody. If you don't have the option to self-custody, then I think Bitcoin in an ETF could be a good idea, Oscar. But just be careful out there. You got to be careful because you don't know who to trust. Pam Powers, thank you, 3.2 million. There you have it. Pizzagate is not good. That sure isn't good, Mateus. Welcome to the stream. Mark Sloan, thanks for subbing. Appreciate it. If you're not willing to put at least 60 to 70 hours into building your own business, then you shouldn't start one. You have to be committed to success. Exactly. There's a reason I stream every day. Why? Because most streamers are unwilling to do that. Number one reason, it gives me an advantage. It gives JV an edge, right? To have the number one daily pod. You can't have the number one daily pod if you don't pod daily. You know what I mean? So I know all about hard work, and you're right, Jennifer. If you're unwilling to work hard and put the hours in, you probably shouldn't start your own business. I see the techie, says K-Jam, a business entrepreneur, works 24/7. Exactly. And we don't even look at it as work because we're so passionate and love what I do. I don't look at what I do as work. I just look at it as my responsibility, kind of like just my routine. It's just my routine. No different from brushing my teeth and taking a shower every day. It's just something you got to do. No different from walking the dog, right? Or feeding yourself. It just becomes habit. They say you do something 90 days every day, it forms a habit, and you can do it unconsciously. You just know it's the right thing to do. Same way I feel with doing the pod. It's just something I do every day. Just a form of habit. You know what I mean? We're all slaves to the rhythm. There you go, AI. We're slave to the vibration. The vibrational slaves. You know what I mean? The unconscious mind is being programmed nonstop through media, news, and fear-mongering. War, famine, war, poverty, violence, killing, war. That's what we're programmed for. Unfortunately, we got to reprogram our minds. I work for myself, so I love my boss. You have the best boss, Jennifer. I love it. Anyways, fam, next story of the day, we discussed the halving rally. Let's discuss a little euphoria, shall we? Who doesn't want a little euphoria in their lives? Blockchain analytics firm says Bitcoin is still up in the euphoria phase despite the recent correction based on on-chain metrics in their new report. The firm says Bitcoin's current downward price action is still tame compared to the previous cycles, suggesting Bitcoin is in the earlier stages of a bull run. Quoting him here, if we return to the magnitude of drawdowns we alluded to earlier, we can see that despite the large-scale profit-taking by existing hodlers, the magnitude of the pullbacks remains historically small. So if we compare the all-time high break in prior cycles, it could be argued that the current euphoria phase is still relatively young. Now, previous euphoria phases have seen numerous price drawdowns exceeding 10%, with the majority being much deeper, with 25% being commonplace. That's right, a few weeks ago, after tapping the the current all-time high of 73.8. We corrected almost 20%. I think it was in the neighborhood of 17 to 18%, but it's a normal thing. The current market has seen just two 10%-ish plus corrections since the all-time high was broken, in that ballpark. Glassnode says that based on the on-chain analysis of the industry's biggest exchanges, the Bitcoin strength over the last year is largely due to the inflows from the spot market. The firm also says the Bitcoin shorter-term correction is being supported by the new demand from fresh entrants into the market. Quoting him again, or I should say the analytics platform, the strong market performance of Bitcoin over the last 12 months is supported by a remarkable uptick in both spot trade volumes and on-chain flows associated with the exchanges. By analyzing the cumulative volume delta, we can also gauge that the demand side has been remarkably strong, albeit with bids patiently taking the maker side rather than the taker side. And with the market now above the 2021 all-time high, profit taken has ramped up, but it is cooling down in the recent weeks. The balance of wealth is approximately balanced between long-term hodlers and new demand, suggesting the euphoria phase is still relatively early from a historical perspective. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Let me know if you agree or disagree with some of that on-chain data. I work for myself. Amen to that. Change your habit to reprogram your brain, like switch hand on what you usually pick up. Use yourself. I like that idea. I learned about that a while ago, and I'm kind of ambidextrous for a lot of things, but not everything. But a good challenge is if you're like, I'm always using my left hand because I'm naturally lefty. But sometimes I'll decide to eat with my right hand, where I usually use my fork on my left hand, or vice versa. Or instead of brushing your teeth with your primary hand, kind of like to switch the brain, you know what I mean? To like, whoa, you ever try to like shoot a basketball with your non-dominant hand, or throw a football or a baseball? And if you're a boy, it's safe to say you probably throw like a girl. In the sense that you've never done it before. So it's like learning from scratch. Like me, not me so much anymore because I practice shooting a lot with my right hand, but maybe throwing a baseball, I will absolutely look like a girl because I haven't practiced it enough, right? When I was a kid, I played a little baseball, but I was always left-handed, so you have a right mitt and throw with the left hand. But nonetheless, practice it. It probably unlocks key elements of your mind, I would imagine, because it's just so strange. What you never do, you never get good at. So if you want to get good at something, start doing it. Why not? Maybe start writing in your opposite hand. And I challenge my daughter to do the same thing. It's like, obviously, you're predominantly right-handed. You play soccer. You always kick the ball with your right foot, yada, yada. Practice the left side. You know what I mean? Become ambidextrous. Get good at both sides. My unconscious mind says there is no second best. I think you're right, Abel.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one.
I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Neuroplasticity, also known as neuroplasticity or brain plasticity, is a process that involves adaptive structural and functional changes. Good to note. I never knew that term. I started my entrepreneurial journey by picking up aluminum cans and making money. I always hustle to find out how to make the money. Most of my hustles, money goes into the biddies. Love to hear that, Jennifer. And I agree. I was a hustler as well. In school, I shared the story many times, but in middle school, I sold pixie sticks and blow pops and like gum, whatever I can find at Costco or Sam's Club, wherever I was at. And then as I got older, I started selling burned CDs. I'd have like a catalog of hundreds of hip hop albums, and I would make copies for my friends and sell them and hustle that way. And I agree. I think the entrepreneurial mindset, there's always infinite ways to create something out of nothing. Hence, we are all alchemists. We're all capable of doing that. It all sparks with an idea. Maybe as a kid, you had a newspaper run or something like that. Remember back in the day when they had newspapers and you could have a bicycle and just throwing newspapers out there. But so many ways. Upon the halving, the price of the Bitcoin will go down half, which is 32,000 from here, and the Allah candle to 125,000 and 226. Guaranteed, says Mohammed. Well, I respect your guarantee, and I'm going to double guarantee. I'm just playing. But respect, family. I appreciate it. Just hodl Bitcoin and don't trade. Taxable event. Good point. You don't got to pay taxes on when you don't have realized gains. So if it's unrealized gains, so be it. Continue to stack those unrealized gains. Only Paperboy I played was on the OG Nintendo. Oh, snap. That's hilarious. I remember selling newspapers door to door. Maybe only lasted a few weeks. I tried it out. I wasn't so good at it, but that sucked. Going door to door is rough, but if you can get good at it, man, you can sell anything. I sold a few things door to door, but newspapers, I think, was my first thing. It's like, would you like to sign up for a subscription to yada, yada, yada newspaper? No, leave me alone. Slam the door in your face. It's like, damn it. I wish I was cuter. Why wasn't nobody buying the newspapers? Preach. Benny Avalis, cheers. Also, the Commodore 64. Slanging our balls in school. Sour balls. Oh, yeah, go sour balls. Airheads. Airheads were dope. But what were the ones? The warheads. The warheads were the ones that take the taste buds right off your tongue. Y'all remember the warheads? Those were pretty legit. Good to know I am hodling. Cheers to that. Always a good sign. But anyways, fam, still lots to cover. The day is young. Let's go. Next story of the day. Here's what's happening in Germany. Headline reads, Germany's largest federal bank to offer crypto custody services, according to this report. That's right. Germany's largest federal bank, called the Landesbank Baden Württemberg, will start to offer crypto custody solutions for the second half of this year. The bank will start offering crypto custody services to institutional clients in partnership with the Austria-based Bitpanda crypto exchange. Let's go, Bitpanda. The German federal bank has been seeing increasing corporate demand for digital asset custody, said their managing director for corporate banking at their bank. And they shared with Bloomberg, the demand from our corporate customers for digital assets is increasing. Now, the bank says they'll tap Bitpanda's institutional custody solution for its offering. Bitpanda Custody is a crypto custody platform with DeFi capabilities, registered with the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, according to the Bitpanda homepage. The partnership will enable the bank to tap the Bitpanda digital asset platform, custody services, and relevant licenses. Gonzalo Lamas, the head of global communication at Bitpanda, shared the following. As part of the cooperation, LBBW leverages our investment as a service, infrastructure and services, which is used to source and provide custody services for cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ether, and other digital assets. The collaboration aims to enhance the LBBW's digital asset offerings, ensuring high security and innovative solutions for their corporate clients. Now, their bank isn't the only German bank mulling crypto services. We also have Deutsche Bank, which has also been working on digital asset custody services since September of 2023. And if I'm pronouncing that wrong, please do let me know. I don't really know. I don't speak German. But anyways, in February, DZ Bank, Germany's second largest bank, announced its plans to launch a crypto trading pilot later in 2024. The bank unveiled this digital asset custody platform in November 2023. The bank in Europe's largest economy are preparing for the markets in crypto assets regulation that will take full effect December of this year as the first comprehensive legal framework for the crypto industry. Meanwhile, crypto exchanges will then become fully regulated entities from the end of 2024. Quoting them again, 2024 is the year of MiCA, and the whole EU will now have a comprehensive legal framework for crypto assets, crypto asset services, and crypto asset service providers. Now, crypto exchanges are a type of crypto asset service provider under MiCA and will become fully regulated in December of 2024. They also say the consultation will determine how exchanges and other CASPs from countries outside the EU might provide services to EU citizens without a license and how these services should be marketed in Europe. The outcomes of this consultation will be critical for MiCA's implementation in December of this year. So there you have it. Crypto fam. Does anyone here live in Germany? Do let me know. Good morning from Sydney, Australia. Shout out to my Aussies. Good to see you, family. Be careful, swapping from one crypto to another does trigger capital gains, says the Jets. Speaking of custody, Coinbase is the custodian of 8 of the top 12. Yes, 8 of the top 12 Bitcoin ETFs. Only Fidelity took self-custody. Interesting. Umair, thank you for subscribing. So that is true. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, and 8 of the 12 in the U.S. are using Coinbase as their custodian, which ultimately means Coinbase is probably the largest hodler of Bitcoin in the world right now, because just based on BlackRock and those ETFs, they must be holding, if not millions, several hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. at this point. And at once they were holding 620,000 Bitcoin from GBTC, but now half their flow has gone. So, but a lot of it has gone into BlackRock, out of GBTC and into BlackRock. So interesting. Only Fidelity is self-custodying their own biddies. Good to note. I appreciate the insights. Hodling doesn't trigger taxes, says Jennifer. So correction, but any movement into other cryptos or fiat does trigger taxes. So that's my understanding. And I'm not a tax expert, so don't take this as tax advice. But from my understanding, it's only a taxable event if there's realized gains. For example, a realized gain would be converting, hypothetically, your Bitcoin for US dollars. Converting your crypto into the fiat ecosystem instantly triggers a taxable event, from my knowledge and understanding. I could be wrong. That's how I perceive it, right? And a lot of different tax people all view it differently. So it's always interesting. Philippines, September, December 25th, Jose something, Antique May. Okay. Upset, Bitcoin up. Who's upset? Never. Coinbase only, baby. Rocks, says VZ. Pet rocks. Let's go. Go biddies. Go Bitcoin. What's up, Nip? Nips, come. Come. I don't know why you're under my chair today. What's going on? Something trigger something? Not feeling good? Yeah, it's a little odd. He was like under my chair. I'm like, why is he under my chair, not in his bed? So shout out to the Nipsonator. Show him some love, the official mascot of the channel. We appreciate you, Nipsey. Long live the king, the Nipinator. Anyways, let's continue. I'm going to read one more comment here. I assume crypto taxes follow the same laws as capital gains. So anything held over the year and sold is more tax friendly than short-term capital gains, but just don't effing sell. There you go. And K-Jam's Husky just licked his heel. Another buy signal, family. Anyways, now for some breaking news, you guys. Big news today. The China ETFs, specifically out of Hong Kong here, so not in the mainland, but we'll break this down, and then Willy Woo's latest 650,000 Bitcoin price prediction. Then we'll dive into some live Q&A. So here we go. Big news, family. Hong Kong has become the latest country to approve spot ETF for Bitcoin and Ethereum, with local regulators issuing approvals to at least 3 local issuers. The Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission, known as the SFC, conditionally approved its first spot Bitcoin and Ether ETFs April 15th, which is today, according to Reuters. At least 3 offshore Chinese asset managers, including Hong Kong units of Harvest Fund Management, Bosserer Asset Management, and China Asset Management, will launch their spot Bitcoin and Ether ETF soon. Let's go. Becerra will launch its spot crypto ETFs in collaboration with Hong Kong-based Hashkey Capital. Then OSL Digital Securities, a licensed digital asset platform in Hong Kong, will act as the sub-custodian for China AMC and Harvest. Now, Hong Kong securities regulator issued a conditional authorization letter to an ETF application if it generally satisfies its requirements, subject to various conditions, including fee payments, document filing, and the Hong Kong Stock Exchange's listing approval. The Hong Kong regulator reportedly approved that the spot Bitcoin and Ether ETFs will be launched as in-kind ETFs, meaning new ETF shares can be issued using Bitcoin and Ethereum. The in-kind creation model is opposed to the cash create redemption model, pay attention, which allows issuers to create new ETF shares only with cash. Spot Bitcoin ETFs currently use the cash created model in the US, as local security regulators opted for this redemption method, and particularly the SEC. Quoting them here, the in-kind subscription model for the spot Bitcoin and Ether ETFs in Hong Kong represents a substantial innovation. OSL board chairman and CEO Patrick Pan shared, this mechanism enhances market liquidity by allowing the direct exchange of the asset for ETF shares, reducing reliance on cash settlements and facilitating uninterrupted trading flows. He also added, this principle is essential for ensuring market stability and is consistent with practices in both digital and traditional asset ETFs. Now, he also noted that receiving an approval in principle signifies the firms have cleared most of the crucial vetting processes and brings them closer to the launch. However, it is still early to expect when exactly the spot Bitcoin ETF will start trading in Hong Kong. He noted the dates are not yet confirmed. However, all parties involved are diligently working to expedite the launch. The initiation of these ETFs is expected to significantly boost capital inflow into the digital asset market in Hong Kong. Now, SFC, Becerra, and Harvest for a comment. They were approached and did not receive a response, but we do know the new ETF approvals follow expectations that the SFC will greenlight the first batch of spot Bitcoin ETFs on April 15th, which seems to already be official. And I'm actually interested if I can find, I think Balchunas or one of the ETF analysts tweeted something regarding it, and I may have retweeted it. So let me read that to you if I can pull it up real quick. Let's see here. Yeah, Eric Balchunas tweeted 3 hours ago. Latest on Hong Kong spot ETFs. They have been approved to exist, but not launch yet. Rumor has it launching next week. So not to compete with the Dubai conference. Don't expect a lot of the flows. I saw one estimate 25 billion. That's insane. We think they'll be lucky to get 500 million. Here's why. And then he lists all the reasons. I'm not going to read them all to you. I'll read you the first two. Hong Kong ETF market is tiny, only 50 billion, and Chinese locals cannot buy these, at least officially. And number two, the three issuers that were approved are tiny. No big fish like BlackRock involved yet. But anyways, fam, we'll see how this likely plays out. Let me know if you're bullish for these Hong Kong ETFs. And I'll read your comments out loud before we dive into our feature story of the day. Let's go. I think I owe California, says KJam. When I sold my house, you owe them $2,000. What happened to the Empower Network? I wouldn't know. I mean, I wasn't the CEO there. I was just an affiliate. And that was how many years ago? I think when I joined the Empower Network, it was like 2011, right? And I promoted it for a few years, but that feels like lifetimes ago. So I would have no clue. You'd have to ask the founders. Might be due on 425, says KJam. Too much sauce. I watch what I say. Right on. The Google gods of YouTube are always watching. That's right. I concur, says VZ. Yum, my fruit smoothie with a micro dose of psilocybin is opening my third eye. Winning. Shout out to the pineal glands out there. Yes, psilocybin is rocket fuel to the third eye, as is DMT. You already know, family. Colorado, it's legal, fam. That's even cooler. Shout out to Colorado, the Rocky Mountain High. Philippines, what about them, G-boy? Is that where you're from, big dog? Let me know.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
That's right. There's no second best.
They
really thought that.
Again, you can call me
3AC because I'm blowing it up. Short squeeze. But we know when we pump. I got a tattoo of a third eye. Oh, nice. Man, crypto is crazy. What do you hold? What do you hold, sell? Do you mean should you hold or sell? If it's Bitcoin, you just hold and never sell. If it's an alt, that's on you to decide when to sell it. You know what I mean? You may get wrecked. Be careful. That's the risk you play when you ishcoin. Everyone says they ishcoin to get more sats. But the problem is no one knows when to convert those gains into Bitcoin because of greed. You think your altcoin is just going to continue to outpace Bitcoin forever, and that typically don't happen. And then you get wrecked. That's why we don't ishcoin. I mean, to each their own. My B-Day is the 24th. Going to be a Bitcoin birthday. That's what's up, man. Happy birthday to you. Ken Scott Chris. Look behind your eyes and watch the river flow by. There you go, Leroy. I am Spanish. That's what's up. Bitcoin hodl forever, Laura. It's going up forever, Laura. My X handle, I'm glad you asked. It's Crypto News Yes, and my X handle is always in the show notes or in the description when you click show more. All my social media. I'm very active on X, very active. But my handle is Crypto News Yes instead of Crypto News Alerts because Crypto News Alerts wasn't available when I got my X handle back in whenever, 2019. My middle finger is painted black with sparkles with a Bitcoin orange tip. I'm a Guy fan. My wifey loves it, says KJam. Whiff, says MM. Arrow seems promising. AERO. Never heard of that one, Ethan, but to each their own. Wi-Fi coin. Is that a thing? Is there a Wi-Fi coin? Love the nails, says Jennifer to KJam. Follow JV on X. I appreciate it, KJam. Appreciate the follows. I think we're at 30,000 or so followers. We got to blow that up as well alongside this YouTube channel family. So I appreciate it. Welcome everyone joining the stream. But without further ado, Now for our feature story of the day. On-chain analyst Willy Woo says Bitcoin can skyrocket to 650,000 this market cycle top if this specifically happens. So let's break it down and let's start with the tweet he just recently shared. And shout out to Willy Woo. I'm a fan, always have been. He wrote 5 hours ago, the new Bitcoin ETFs bring price targets of 91,000 at the bear market bottom. Not too shabby. And 650,000 at the bull market top once ETF investors have fully deployed, according to the asset manager recommendations. These are very conservative numbers. Bitcoin will beat the gold cap when ETFs have completed their role. And I think earlier we said the gold not gold ETFs, but the gold market cap right now is over 15 trillion. He also said, note, these are not targets for the cycle. It takes a long time for capital deployments to complete. Well, thank you for the asterisk there. Back of the envelope calculations, he wrote number 1, 100 trillion managed by asset managers. They generally have a 2% allocation recommendation. See Fidelity. This number will rise over time, but today it's a 2 trillion allocation into Bitcoin. Number 2, Bitcoin currently holds 561 million of investments. We can measure this on chain. New total will bring it to 2.56 trillion of investment. Number 3, we can use the MVRV to calculate market cap versus money invested. This ratio is 5x the bull market tops and 0.7x in bear market bottoms. Number 4, this translates to capitalizations of 12.8 trillion and 1.8 trillion respectively, or 650,000 or 91,000 per Bitcoin. Number 5, I've excluded other self-custody inflows. So this is absolutely a lower bound estimation. Self-custody inflows are way bigger right now. And number 6, Bitcoin will certainly exceed gold capitalization by the time asset manager capital has deployed. Gold went on a 12-year bull run when its ETF was approved, and now is Bitcoin's turn. Let's go. So there you have it. And let's dive deeper into the article published off the back of that tweet with the prediction. The headline reads, Bitcoin can skyrocket to 650,000 if this happens, according to Willy Woo. There you go. Now, to substantiate his claim, the Bitcoin analyst elaborated some calculations based on allocation recommendations, self-custody inflows, the market value to realized value, which is the MVRV, which is the ratio between the market value of Bitcoin and its realized value. Wu also explained that asset managers like Fidelity are advocating for modest crypto portfolio allocations of just 2%. He makes a good point because we have seen a study published, it was a couple of years ago, and I covered it here on the channel many times. BlackRock's recommended Bitcoin allocation investment into the biddies is like 84.9%. So you do the math. And so this is very modest allocation at 2%. Now, such firms manage roughly 100 trillion, which leaves up to 2 trillion to go to Bitcoin. That's if it was only 2%. The number will increase over time as Bitcoin sees more adoption. Facts. Bitcoin currently holds over 561 billion of investment, so adding the 2 trillion will bring the total to 2.56 trillion, significantly enlarging the assets ecosystem. The figure could be much more if self-custody inflows are even considered. Wu says self-custody inflows are much bigger at the moment, hence the 2.56 trillion target is the lower bound estimate. Now let's discuss exceeding gold's market cap using the MVRV ratio to calculate market capitalizations versus money invested. The target investment figure would be multiplied by 5 in bull market tops and 0.7 in bear season bottoms. This would leave the crypto market with a capitalization of 12.8 trillion and a top of 1.8 trillion at the bottom, or $91,000 and $650,000 per Bitcoin. Wu clarified the Bitcoin is not expected to hit the 91,000 and 650,000 targets during the cycle. As such, capital deployments take a long time. However, Bitcoin will inevitably exceed gold's market cap when the ETFs have achieved their full potential. Quoting them again, these are very conservative numbers. Bitcoin will beat the gold cap when the ETFs have completed their role. Bitcoin will certainly exceed gold capitalization by the time the asset manager capital has deployed. Gold went on a 12-year bull run when its ETF was approved. Now it's Bitcoin's turn. Let's freaking go. So what are your thoughts on Bitcoin hitting a target of 90,000 to 650,000 as outlined by on-chain analysts Willy Woo? I can see personally Bitcoin reaching a bear scenario of 222,000 this year, as high as 750,000 or anywhere in between. So it's going to be a very interesting year this year and next year, actually both years, as typically we hit the cycle peak the year preceding the halving, but many people are saying this halving is different. For example, the major difference, clearly, we didn't have the institutional FOMO in 2021 when we tapped the 69,000 all-time high. Also consider that 2021 was a long time ago. That's like 3 years ago. We tapped 69, and right now we're trading at a discount of 64,000. So many would say this bull market is just getting started. I mean, at least to the stock to flow it showed you on March 1st, we printed the first red dot, which signifies we're officially in bull market territory, expecting many more red dots being printed this year and next year. Another major difference with this cycle, for the first time in Bitcoin history, we broke the previous all-time high pre-halving. That's right. We broke the all-time high a few times already. We tapped 69,000 and then we tapped 70,000, and the current all-time high is $73,800. So previous cycles, the three previous cycles that come before us, 2012, 2016, and 2020, it always took us post-halving to break the previous all-time high. So many would say for those reasons, things are much different. But I want to know your thoughts. How high can you see the Bitcoin price climbing realistically for this cycle, 2024, 2025? Can you see a 220,000 biddy? Can you see 500,000? What are your thoughts? Let me know. I'm going to read these comments out loud. Hillbilly Will says Bitcoin starts to slog to 100,000. It's unstoppable. Carol says I can see 650. Send it. Love it, Carol. Cheers to that. What good does it do if you never sell, says Bill Hokey. Well, I guess we all have different goals in life. My goal is to, pass on generational wealth to my children so that she can pass it on to her children so they're not enslaved, right? And they can live a freedom lifestyle. Whereas, some people have goals to maybe buy a house. JV already owns a house, right? So it all depends upon your personal goals. I personally feel it won't make any sense to sell Bitcoin. Even if it was $1 million, hypothetically speaking right now, if you had the opportunity to borrow against it or do some creative things, would you really sell it, right? The question I pose you is, why would you sell your Bitcoin for the inferior fiat money? What are you going to do with the fiat money? Now, if you just have money you need burning a hole in your pocket, you need to buy something with it, you have some attachment to something physical, whether it's a car, a house, maybe you want to pay off a loan, maybe, debt, whatever it may be. And shout out to Haran for subscribing to the pod. I totally understand that, right? However, teach their own. We're all in a different situation. So JV, no plans of selling. However, who knows? We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll want a new house eventually, 10 years or something like that. And I will borrow against it or something. I don't know. I can't predict the future. But one thing is for certain, I think most Bitcoiners have no intention of ever selling. They just want it. You can use it as collateral, Bitcoin being the most pristine form of collateral. And eventually all the banks will want your pristine collateral. Mark my words. They don't want your fiat. Fiat is useless at the end of the day. So just me thinking out loud here, but let me know your thoughts. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. $1 equals 22 cents. That is the perfect example right there. 1 Bitcoin will always be equivalent to 1 Bitcoin. 15 years ago, 1 Bitcoin was equal to 1 Bitcoin. 1,500 years from now, 1 Bitcoin will be equivalent to 1 Bitcoin. However, $1 is 22 cents. Those who save in fiat, what do we call them, folks? You already know. Don't make me play the jammy jam.
But most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
Nope. 175,000 top. A lot of ETF buyers will have weak hands, says Expos John. Conservative, 150,000. The Bulls, 275,000, says Mankey. Thanks for sharing. I like your prediction of 222,000 JV. I'm banking on it. I sold my carpet cleaning business a few years ago. Semi-retired now. Congratulations, Don George. Let's go.
People that use fiat currency.
Deflationary asset into the future. Many don't sell with the big profits. Facts. Preach, says VZ. Wait until the U.S. banks will allow us to borrow against the biddies. HODL mode will free you from the government. Fiat. That's right. Hodling has so many advantages. So many advantages. Not even funny, right?
As a store of value.
You got that right, Jennifer. What do we call them, folks?
We call them core.
$1 equals 22 cents. Tell them.
We call them core. People that use.
Shout out K-Jam. Shout out Little Bubble, Michael Saylor. Download the track. Appreciate it. Fiat, go look it up. 320, 321. 1 year pre and post. Last halving, Bitcoin went approximately 1,500%. If that happens again, Bitcoin could hit approximately 7 million per coin.
Fiat currency. We call them core. We call them core.
Facts. Health is your wealth. Bitcoin is your freedom. Well said. Get ready to DCA, folks. The cousins want their orders filled at 32. Shout out to your cousins there, Muhammad, but I don't see it. Hydrogen dollar can power the Bitcoin project. Hates fiat so much. Who's AH? Their GT. $1.22 over what time? 2 hours, the way they're printing. Jose from Antique. Joseph Buenaventura. Cheers. Bitcoin peeps. Hanging tight, yo. Shout out to the Bitcoin peeps. And I ain't talking about that sugary candy during Easter. You know what I mean?
Too many frauds and scams.
These clowns trying to take us down. What a guy. Wow, what a guy. Wow, what a guy.
Volcanic energy in El Salvador. Let's go. Started buying biddies in 2016 at $400. Been hodling since. Shout out Ken. Just amazed by the ride I've seen and been on. Just amazing. So yeah, here's the thing that can occur. You buy something with your Bitcoin, and then your biggest regret is the following halving when your Bitcoin 10x's in value, right? A great example would be Papa John's. I know it's an extreme scenario, but when Bitcoin was first launched, the first transaction was the 2 Papa John's large pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. Maybe at that time it was $20 or whatever, but today, run the math. So that's an example of what can happen. You know what I mean? Another example, I'll give you a real life example. I got a Bitcoin backed loan to purchase this house. And eventually I paid off the loan using my Bitcoin as collateral due to the situation I was in. I was kind of forced to. And it cost me 30 Bitcoin to buy this house. Now, 30 Bitcoin is probably 2 times in fiat, 2 times what this house is worth now. And this was, I don't know, I bought this house 2 years ago. So I really needed a place, though, at the time. I was in a weird situation I won't get into. But long story short, I paid 30 Bitcoin for the house. If I would have just waited a couple of years, I could have bought this house maybe today for 10 or 12 Bitcoin. I don't know the exact number, maybe 15 Bitcoin. So it just goes to show you, but I'm grateful, to be in a position to own my home and still be preaching the way I am here on the channel and all that good stuff. So it worked out for me, but nonetheless, obviously, you don't really want to spend your Bitcoin. I was forced to not get liquidated because there's a lot of, what am I going to say? There's a lot of risks associated with borrowing against your Bitcoin. And what happened with me is when I bought the house using my Bitcoin as collateral, Bitcoin was at 40,000 and then Bitcoin dumped to 30,000. And then when it hit 25, I started scratching my head. And if I didn't pay off the loan using my collateral, I would have liquidated my position and lost all of my collateral. You know what I mean? So it got very risky there. So you got to consider that as well. Shout out Miguel. Appreciate you subbing to the channel. My Papa John's pizza delivery guy gave the biggest tips. I also drive safe when I see the kids playing on the streets. Word up. Hot and cold water can produce electrical energy with refrigerant. Right on, Leroy. December Bitcoin big games. Pizza is an amazing invention. Amen to that. It was just bad timing. The last bear hurt a lot of folks. Exactly. I'm fortunate I didn't get liquidated and lose all my Bitcoin collateral. That wouldn't have been good. So hypothetical, instead of paying off the loan with a portion of my Bitcoin collateral, I could have just kept adding more collateral, more collateral, more collateral, and Bitcoin dumped all the way to like 15,000. So I would have absolutely lost everything I had. So I had to make an executive decision. You know what I mean? Do I try to protect this position or do I just, do what I do? And I'm fortunate I made the right decision because the other decision would have totally wrecked me. I would have had a house, but I would have had no Bitcoin. That wouldn't be good. You know what I mean? So you ended up a seller of Bitcoin. Yeah, I used my Bitcoin to the proper term. I used my Bitcoin as collateral to buy a house through a Bitcoin-backed loan. And then I had to pay off the loan before my position got liquidated to avoid losing all of my Bitcoin collateral. So I said, yeah, let's just pay off the loan. And I recovered whatever the difference was from the Bitcoin collateral. And I didn't have to add more Bitcoin to the position to try to protect it from not getting liquidated. It's called a margin call. And that's the risk associated with borrowing against your Bitcoin. You get a margin call, which is like a warning. If it drops to this level, you get liquidated. And ultimately, we take all your Bitcoin collateral. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to give you all my Bitcoin collateral. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I can't complain. It could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse. And I got a house out of it, so... I mean, it is what it is. But obviously, the Bitcoin is superior to the real estate, the digital asset, because the digital asset appreciates faster than the real estate. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Keep smoking that good-ish 650,000. Oh, I will. Oh, I will, family. My 1 Bitcoin equals a house. Eventually, 1 Bitcoin will be equivalent to this house. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Bitcoin was $200 when LA Times reported about this unique digital asset. Oh, wow. So the LA Times reported on it when it was $200. Whoa. And I bet you most people are like, $200? That's a lot for a digital fake money. My 2x bit ETF went from 25% a few days ago to down 3% as of today. Should I have just bought iBit? I don't know about that leverage, family. Own your assets, fam, not the bank. JV, similar situation happened to me. I built a new home and the contractor way overdrafted the loan. I was basically forced to liquidate a bunch of the crypto to pay them off. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? You can't beat yourself up over it. You got to make the best decision at the time you're in and make the best decision for yourself and your situation. It happens. Of course, hindsight, everyone can look back and be like, well, if I would have just did this. Everyone has that story. If I just would have did this, I would have 10 million Bitcoins right now. You know what I mean? Your explanation makes sense. I'm doing Bitcoin for my kids and grandkids so they can live a good life after I'm gone. I'm 73 and I have no idea how much time I have left. God bless you, Bill Hockey. You're doing the right thing. Respect. How far can we go down with the king? The king don't go down, just saying.
Today, Satoshi Nakamoto has released an official statement that they'll be raising prices.
Mono Mama says quit lying. What are you referring to? No illicit drug talk on this channel. It's a family show. Thank you, KJam. That's facts. To those looking at this predictably volatile halving month and asking, how much should I have zoom out? You will be golden a year from now. Right on, Data. Hindsight is 2020. Facts. So in retrospect, in a perfect world, what I would have done, I would have just bought my house. If I really wanted the house at the time, in which I did, I could have just bought the house straight up for, let's say at the time, 15 Bitcoins. But instead, my thinking was, well, get a Bitcoin back loan. I'm not selling any. And then as Bitcoin goes up, I'll pay off the loan and it won't cost me 15 Bitcoin. Maybe I'll buy it for 10. So I got greedy. And then the opposite happened. You know, the entire market got smashed. And I end up paying, at the end of the day, roughly, to pay off the loan, it cost me roughly 30 Bitcoins. Whereas I could have just bought the house outright when Bitcoin was trading at 40,000 before it crashed even more. I could have bought it outright for, whatever, like 15. But greed kicks in sometimes. I was like, I'm not departing with 15 Bitcoin for a house. Who would do that? I'll just get a loan. But then the market went from 40,000 to 30,000 to 20,000 to 15,000. I mean, I didn't anticipate a crash that bad. Eagles Vision, welcome to the channel, family. Bitcoin's going to rip soon. Let her rip. You know what I mean? Who scrubbed your comment? I love Bitcoin. What do you think of the South Africa genocide case in the International Court of Justice? I try to stand clear of politics on the tube, just not to give anyone any reason to terminate my channel under false pretenses. It's happened before. So when we get to the Rumble session where we have the uncensored version of the pod, ask me all that kind of stuff and I don't hold back. I'll tell you exactly how I feel in every situation. 100% uncensored. But on YouTube, I want to stick to crypto. You know what I mean? It was definitely a good decision. There's always a risk, even with good decisions. I have made similar choice, and it's working for me, mostly because I was lucky on the timing. There you go. RIP. Yeah. And another thing is like the honest truth is rent is so much here in Puerto Rico. If I didn't own my house, I'd be paying $7,000-8,000 a month for rent, which would cost me, that's a lot of money, right? So, you know what I mean? You got to make decisions based upon your circumstances, I realized. December, big games, USA, Philippines. Big games, right on. Shout out to the Philippines. YouTube is on YouTube. Save it for the Rumble. So if you purchase today your home, it would cost $6.5. No, that's not correct. It depends on what the house is appraised at, obviously, or what it would sell at. But that's definitely not accurate. It would cost me probably anywhere between 13 to 15 Bitcoin to buy this house today, I'm guessing, without running a math and pulling out a calculator. Definitely not 6. No, not that low. My house is closer towards $1 million. It's not like a $200,000 house or $300,000 house, right? I think I bought my house. The sale price was like $700,000, and then closing costs were like an additional $35,000. I ended up getting like an $800,000 loan, borrowing against my Bitcoin, so virtually $800,000. And now it's probably worth a little more. Real estate did go up in the past couple of years. Is it worth $1 million now? I don't know, but it might be in that ballpark. I'm good around 67,000 right on. Toasty, when do you expect the bounce back above 70 to 80,000? This week, I'm an optimist when it comes to Bitcoin, so I could always see it reclaiming its all-time high sooner than later, especially with a halving. However, we may get a sell the news event. You never know. And then we just moon right after when everyone, you know what I mean, sells. You know what I mean? You never know. How do you get the star by your name? Become a member. Also click the $ next to the chat box. Thank you, KJam. I was figuring off 70,000, but yeah, you have to love that equity. Yeah, I am blessed to have a house free and clear that I own. So, you know what I mean? Theoretically, I would be able to just get a loan, like refinance it or something. Right now, there is no loan, but I could get a loan against the house and just buy more Bitcoin at this price if I really wanted to. However, honestly, it kind of feels good owning a home. Kind of feels good. I don't know. I'm in no rush there. But there's options. You never know. I what is that? DCA'd 4 years back at 28. Right on. Right on, fam. I would bet one Bitcoin that John Jones could beat Alex Pereira at light heavyweight by taking him down and neutralizing and striking. Well, it's exactly what John Jones did his last fight, right? Was it against Cyril Gong? I forgot if it was him, but he just took him down and the guy had no answer, and I think he choked him out, tapped. So, yeah, Jones does not want to strike with Pereira. That dude is next level, probably the best striker in the UFC, hands down, I think. That bow. Everyone should feel blessed every morning to wake up to their own manifestations. Facts. Beautiful feeling. Very cool, sir. Thank you, P. Dollar. I'm up 130%, even with the dip. The power of DCA. Amen to that. But here's what we're going to do, fam. I got to pick up my daughter from school here shortly. So we're going to continue with the uncensored version of the pod, exclusive on Rumble. The Rumble link is in the description. I'm sure KJam will post it here in a second. And also, you can just open up, Rumble and type in Crypto News Alerts. You can't miss it. Head on over there, and we'll continue with the uncensored version of the podcast. I greatly appreciate y'all's support, and I'll see you guys shortly here on Rumble. Head on over to Rumble, fam. Cheers. All right. YouTube stream should be finito.